So the second thing this is totally different, but something that was requested of me by my friend Amanda, who is Adam's friend. She said, "What are your guys' thoughts on vests and waistcoats?" And that's going to be fun to do because there's a good picture. I can think of me wearing a waistcoat like on its own. There's a picture of me and MJ hanging out where I'm wearing a graphic T-shirt that says "photo of my cock" and it's a cartoon chicken. And MJ is wearing a long sleeve white T-shirt with a black vest. So I think we can talk a little bit about that because Amanda said she said her ex-boyfriend would wear vests a lot. So I'm like, oh boy, like.
Ethan, do you have this picture of you, or do you have this T-shirt?
So that T-shirt, no, not anymore.
Well, so before we dive in, can we just talk about the fact that, like, to me, it was like a thing to wear a vest. That was like a bold choice for people. Like, oh, you're wearing the vest. You're really try hard. Like that's what, like that and the fedora. That's what people think. That's like, I'll try a vest.
Oh, the vest plus fedora.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. Recently, I've kind of wanted to get like a suede or corduroy vest to wear, Stan Rizzo style, like kind of just like hippie looks. Like Double RL and LVC both made kind of like versions of this. I do have both of those on my watch list. You might see me break those out this fall if I decide to get them.
Okay.
So
I like that concept over like a beat up Western shirt and
like that's the way I would want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it like, sure. I'm like a classy gangster at a place with cloth napkins or whatever. I'd want it to, I want it to be cool. I want it to be rugged.
You don't want a 3-piece suit with a wide peak lapel and a high-cut double-breasted waistcoat. Yeah. No offense to double-breasted waistcoat.
Sorry, Ivan.
I think fuck out of here. Yeah, I think the problem with vests or waistcoats is they're a category of clothing that's pretty unique to tailoring, right? Outside of tailoring and just general, general average guy wear. I mean, the
general average guy.
Yeah, general average guy. Yeah, average white guy. Average white. Yeah, average. Sure, whatever. Average North American simp. I don't know.
John Q. Public.
Yeah, exactly. There isn't really a waistcoat equivalent. Whereas with stuff like jackets, regular guys wear jackets. Maybe not the sort of jackets we wear, but they wear jackets.
Like
likewise,
jackets?
they wear jackets with long sleeve jackets with sleeves and like
right.
M65s, windbreakers, that sort of thing. That's not particularly modern wear. That's just so people wear jackets is what I was trying to say there.
Okay.
Yeah, people wear shirts. People wear collared shirts out of choice who aren't really into menswear. People wear sweaters, crew neck sweaters, but waistcoats are very much a unique thing amongst someone who wants to look dressed up. I think you don't really see the average guy pull out a waistcoat without really thinking about it, without having really thought about it first. Yeah. So in that sense, it's
people usually just have their shirt. Oh, he wore his nice shirt today. Yeah. And sometimes it's a flannel. Sometimes it's a floral.
That's the unfortunate thing is like you could be wearing like a cool like Stan Rizzo like hippie look with the vest and everything, but in like 1968, 1969. It's like, oh yeah, that's just a vest. That's just a thing that people wear sometimes. But in 2020, that's like. The context is
different. Special dress up attire, or because of the bad the connotations of people who've the connotations that have come from people who've tried it and failed miserably.
Because it's one of those things that like I think I hit it before, where it's like the kind of like the not the bare minimum, but like the minimum alternative, right? Like it's like you're not going to wear a tailored jacket, but you're going to wear a worsted wool waistcoat. And then people look at like, say like, maybe it's like Gatsby, maybe it's fucking Peaky Blinders or something, where like, these rugged guys with their undercuts would take off their overcoat, their regular jacket, and then just wear the waistcoat, and people are like, oh, that's cool, because I mean, waistcoats for tailoring should be fitted, right?
Mhm.
They traditionally they should fit close to the body, which, hey, we could get into that. Me and Spencer will probably be on the pod where we talk about how
We'll get
waistcoats
close to the
have got-
body.
Yeah, I mean, it's
got
like
a
not
little-
to be like
they have-
like a basic like menswear dude, but yeah, vests, like, you know, 3-piece suits, vests generally look cool as hell.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, we've lost that from like from going from vintage to now,
Mhm.
because waistcoats don't fit as snugly. They're not
long.
they're too long.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
too
so like that's why
boxy.
like the old pictures. I mean, there are old pictures of guys wearing just waistcoats too that look pretty badass. But of course, when you do it now, where the waistcoat is longer, it's much baggier. It just doesn't have an effect. But guys assume, just like with people who watch Mad Men, if they just put on that piece, they look as cool
They're
as they
set.
think they do. So, but like
My
that's
Macy's
not
suit isn't
where
the same thing.
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
so it's. Oh, go ahead, Kiyoshi.
So like I think the problem like nowadays with the waistcoat, the way it would be worn by just like the average Joe, is it's like, you know, a waistcoat with some sort of dress shirt, and then a pair of jeans, and then
Ugh.
they're probably like tan dress shoes, right? And it's like the ultimate like early 2010s GQ
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
boardroom to the bar kind of look, where it's like it's just
I
like
was gonna say something, but I
oh, yeah,
So-
you just
Yeah.
shouldn't wear that. Like it just, and I think like that's the connotation is like either you're the guy that would wear that like and sincerely think you're looking pretty
Hot
cool,
shit.
or
Yeah.
you're like the tailored clothing guy that's like driven
Oh, shit.
nuts by how terrible that looks.
Well,
And-
I was thinking of like the
yeah.
bootcut jeans with a white T-shirt and then the black
Nice,
vest
yeah.
over that, and like some like brown, like some sneakers.
Oh,
Like a
And-
divorced
dude,
dad,
we're
like
talking,
Johnny
like-
Depp look.
yeah, we're not talking
Yeah.
like 2010. We're talking about like 2002. Like
Yeah, that's right. 2002.
Let's go back
Late-
another decade.
fucking like a Disney Channel protagonist kind of thing.
How about we go with like to like
Hero.
like 95, 96. He got like a vest, and then he got like a earth tone striped band collar shirt. How about that one?
Yeah,
Oof.
that's
Oh.
a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like I
Beautiful.
used to be into like the casual waistcoat as they my friend Dan at Article Style would call it, because, you know, he was a very big proponent of, you know, getting the most you could out of a 3-piece suit, right? And I get it, right? You want to
Mm.
wear
Simon
thing that
Compton
you've
said
invested.
something like that too, as well. I think one of his first stuff before he was like the very beginnings of his website. Back,
And
way
it
back,
makes
like,
sense. It's a
2011
very
something.
it's a very hashtag menswear thing. It's curious. It's a very like early like 2010s kind of thing.
Mhm.
And, you know, like I remember it stuck in my head very, like, it was still cool, and it still kind of is, where like a guy wears like a waistcoat with like a fucking like a dark Henley or like a fucking t-shirt or whatever, and then like fitted waistcoat, nice slim trouser, and then like sockless loafers or something. I think it still looks
Yeah, I-
pretty sleek. But I remember posting a picture like that, Timothy. I wish I had it. I don't think I have it for old Ethan, unfortunately, for that big article that's going to come out for the 50th episode of the podcast. But I remember all the comments like, "Why are you trying to look like a fucking like hipster bartender?" You know,
Oof.
and
oh no,
and it's
God,
like
never again.
I can't argue with it, because it does look like, but like it still kind of looks a little sick. You know, I think it's kind of cool, but it's really hard to shake those kind of vibes. You know.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I loved vests, and like I used to when I went to the mall, we had a buckle, and I loved getting those shitty casual vests with like the stripes on it, or even Hot Topic, or I don't know if Hot Topic had it, but like these vests, these weird things, and just like yeah, when they were tight, and you could wear the big shirt with it, and like it comes out the sides a little bit, and
Photo
just, or with the-
schmosby.
Roseby. Yeah, I loved it. And again, coming from Victorian slash Johnny Depp slash Adam Lambert vibes, they all kind of mesh together. The vest is just
Oh,
a natural
God,
fit.
yeah.
I know, high school was great. Those
Okay, I
pictures
mean-
are all gone.
Yeah, I posted a picture of Dan Trepanier in the chat, and it's like, and here's a good picture of like a random guy doing, like, that's not random, it's like a model or whatever, but like there's clearly a difference here. And again, it's hard for like stalwart menswear guys to kind of separate the two, because
God,
they
yeah.
look Yeah, I mean, yeah. Dan's look is kind of dated, but it still looks pretty nice. Like it's not bad. Like his trousers aren't like overly tight, or whatever. He's not trying too hard, but I can see why.
I think my issue is when it comes if you're wearing a dress like vest casually, like a more dressy waistcoat. I'm just gonna be like, well, I think it would probably look better with the jacket. Like it would just look better
Right.
as like a 3-piece.
Right.
Whereas if you have a casual vest, a hunting vest, a fishing vest, or even just like a tweed,
Photographer vest.
suede, corduroy, whatever. It's like, okay, this is meant to be worn on its own, but a vest that's made of dressier fabric is meant to be worn with a jacket. And you know, I pick and choose where to be a stickler. That's the thing I like about me. And that's one of the places where I'm a stickler.
Are we gonna touch on what do you call it, sweater vests or sleeveless cardigans at all in this topic?
Those are different.
Cardigans would count as waistcoats,
Like
right?
a
The button-up
bag.
ones.
Yeah. Like that's like, and the thing is, like, as a guy who has gotten a lot of inspiration. I mean, I literally grew up getting inspired by vintage. I do like the idea of like the work waistcoat worn on its own, or even like the cardigan by Drake's or whatever. Sweater vests, like Fair Isle sweater vests, and like the kind of the 4-patch pocket knit waistcoat, that you may have seen like SJC or something like that. I think those look pretty cool, but like it's really hard to kind of pull it off because of the connotations to not just Dan, but like that really bad other picture that I did, and it's really unfortunate despite the fact that I really like that kind of thing, because a spoiler for upcoming artists, get the utility vest from Informale, and I like that thing. And again, as Spencer said, it's a little bit more rugged, so I think it works better. Like it's almost like jacket length because it's longer, so it just feels like a sleeveless jacket. Spencer also knows that I've been looking for like a work vest jacket. Like it's like literally literally like a waistcoat, but it has like sleeves. I mean, MJ has the LL Bean version, which is like the grail for that kind of thing. But like, I'm also looking at like, I also want like, or like, I think the one on there was one on eBay that was like a white pin cord or white twill that was so cool, but like very small, And it's like I'm kind of into that kind of look where it's a different vibe. You have to kind of make a different look. You can't do it with tailoring that much. I think Bryceland's kind of does it a little bit with like the hunting vests and everything. I like it better with like a wide leg trouser, obviously, just because it kind of subvert the kind of sleek, cool 2011 hashtag menswear, break into third piece out of my 3-piece kind of thing. Like you don't want that vibe. So you're kind of you're leaning to like maybe the grandpa or like the kind of tactical kind of vibes and everything. I mean, PJT has a really great utility vest that I think kind of sets a standard for me, even though I didn't buy that one. I'm not a big fan of like cotton nylon that much, and I have handled it. Our friend Ryan, shout out, he became our patron of the pod a couple weeks ago. Finally. but I think he wears the utility vest, and he wears it with like everything, especially in quarantine now. He doesn't really wear jackets as much or even short coats, so he wears that instead. And I think it's really cool. But it still takes some getting used to wearing like a long sleeve or like a button up shirt, like an OCBD, or even a sports shirt with a vest. I think it's kind of
we talk about the length of the vest obviously that's important. Like it can't be too low. But I think another detail is like how deep the neckline is or the top, because like that's why I think sweater vests or your sleeveless cardigans are so versatile, because like you're kind of stuck with the garment if you get like a regular button vest. But again, if you get a sweater vest and the ribbing is good enough, it's not just like a shirt, you can hike it up a little bit to match the rise of your pants. And then with the sweater vest, and maybe this is more to a point to the sweater vest as opposed to like a Drake sleeveless cardigan, they're a little bit less of a neckline, which I think gives you it produces a different effect, like a tighter body, smaller effect, and then it's looser and just more openings, so I find that much easier to wear than like a suit vest or anything like that part of it, or like trying to do some like suit separate thing. So I would that's pretty much the only vest I would wear. My gray flannel suit has a vest, but I don't know when I would ever wear it.
And continuing on with the idea of being more comfortable to wear, it's also physically more comfortable to wear a sweater vest or sweater with those waistcoats, which will really make you feel any heavy meals you eat, let's say.
Like a brown sweater vest with a gray suit. Money.
They don't stretch. Yeah.
I mean, I have a 1960s like Ivy suit, which I haven't put on because it's made of flannel, so I haven't worn it like a long time. Waistcoat, long time. That waistcoat is like a fucking corset, dude, and it's like,
oh really?
I can't like. It's so slim. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be like. But
it's supposed to be cool.
It's still pretty. Yeah, it's still pretty tough to wear. And that's what I was. When you talk about the sweater vests and the sleeveless cardigans, I love those because I don't know. Like they provide like it's leading into. That's like a big thing about the pod and about the blog and everything. Where sometimes the best thing to do is just lean into vintage, lean into the dad, lean into the workwear, do all that stuff. Because if you try and make it too cool, you start being too try hard. Like I feel comfortable wearing like my Drake sleeveless cardigan with an OCBD and tie, even though I look like fucking Mr. Rogers or something. I feel like I like that more than if I did like cool, like worsted wool, slim waistcoat with like sockless loafers or whatever. Like I think that vibe is a little too try hard. But like if I just do the workwear waistcoat with a knit tie, OCBD, flannel trousers, white socks, and loafers, that makes me feel more like me. It's slouchier.
Slouchy, yeah.
I mean, that's the theme of the podcast, theme of everything that I do.
It's just so much more comfortable to do that. Like that's my number reason why I don't like tailored waistcoats is I'm like you said, like it feels like a corset, and it's just okay. I don't need to feel constricted. I'm not going to pay money to feel terrible about my weight.
But where else are you going to put your pocket watch?
My pocket watch.
Where are you going to put it? You're gonna clip it like an asshole on your belt?
I'm just gonna throw it in like my jeans pocket.
That 5 pocket.
That's what the pockets for, right, guys?
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that's why I'm really much more into like a sleeveless cardigan, or for me, it's a little bit more of a utility reason as a layer in the winter. Like I have a quilted. Reversible vest that I wear just as a layer walking to and from work when it gets a little cold. To me, it's just nice to have for the warmth factor, keep the chest warm, but less as I guess you call like a fashion piece. But I like a vest, just not tailored vests.
Because the worst case scenario for wearing a tailored waistcoat would be you're a less comfortable, more constricted. We talked about it being sort of corset-like to wear, and B, you're also giving off the impression that you're some sort of GQ dandy circa 2010. And when you combine both of those, what ends up happening is we don't really wear. Yeah, we don't want to even try it. Yeah.
The worsted case scenario.
The worsted case.
Something I noticed too, like when I post some pictures in the chat, like I mean the Drake's one looks really good without a tie, but the most recent one is I think like again I'm on the side of like ties make everything casual to me, because if you wear it really slouchy. Yeah, no, so I guess
ties make everything casual to you.
No, he had a thing about this.
No, yes. Yeah, because and my friend Adam knows this, because Adam, again, I want to get him on the pod because he's literally going through a very exponential menswear thing right now, as you guys have seen in like my stories and everything. He's just always like getting better and better each time, and he's kind of learned that wearing the tie, it adds a 3-dimensional piece to an outfit, and if you wear it casually, like it's like tucked in, maybe it's like tucked into your shirt, tucked into your shirt trouser, it just feels like you're subverting, like you're not wearing it for like a right, especially if you counteract it with like a very slouchy shoulder jacket, that kind of thing. Like this picture of this picture I posted of, I think that's Michael Hill. I'm not sure who that is. Of wearing the sweater vest with a tie. I think that looks slouchier, maybe maybe not formal, but like it looks slouchier and maybe a more casual vibe than this picture of Simon, who again I guess we're dunking on Simon today. But like I don't know, something about Simon's picture just looks too like it looks too like I don't know what it is. It just doesn't.
It's an uncanny valley.
I think it's because
It's
like
uncanny valley. That's
Simon's
right.
is
Yeah.
more like a fine merino versus like the Drake's ones are like that lamb's wool, which has like a little bit more heft and texture, which makes it more casual.
Yeah, ways is
Oh,
quite
yeah,
important.
And he's also
Right,
like,
you're looking
Simon's
at the
also wearing a
permanent
white
style.
shirt.